Hey guys, happy Monday. Today's video is going to be about personal growth. Figured why not? Best way to start the week is to talk about how you personally can make yourself a better person. So more times than not, it has a lot to do with who you're surrounding yourself with. So if you are constantly around negative individuals who don't want to better themselves, you in turn will mask that. Just as if you were surrounding yourself with people who are go-getting and positive and just vibrant and are not content with where they are, you then are going to be like, I can also better my life. That can come from either family or friends or even your partner. And I want to go on a little bit deeper with your partner. Because more times than not, and I've noticed a little bit more than lately, I don't see people together and they're genuinely happy. A lot of the time people seem to be together because they're comfortable, because they don't want to be alone, and that's not a reason to be with somebody. I promise you, being alone isn't as full as you think. You get a lot of time to do what you want. Think about how you can make your life better, how you can make yourself better. You can watch whatever you want on TV all the time. I'm just kidding about that, but it's kind of true, actually. But to go a little bit more in depth about that, if your partner is happy where they are and you are not, and you're trying to move forward, you won't be able to, at least not as easily. Because if they're here and you're trying to get here, you two are either going to have to go together or one person's going to have to stay. And a lot of the time that's where the butting heads comes from, and one person's like, oh yeah, no, I'm totally fine, I'm totally happy, and on the inside they know that they're not. And that's not healthy. So I want to give you a little analogy to kind of see where I'm coming from. So let's say one partner is over here and you guys decide to have a beach day, and they're comfortable floating in the water just where they're at. You, however, see a huge island off in the distance and you're like, I think I could make it, and you want to go explore. Well, the only way to get to that island is to swim. You're fine with that. You're like, I got this, let me go for a swim. Your partner, on the other hand, is like, no, I think I'm good, I'm gonna stay right here, I'm just gonna float, like, I'm cool, it's fine, I'm hanging out. So you're like, cool, okay, well then I'm gonna go ahead and go see if I can do it on my own. But you're still attached by this rope, okay? So they're here and you're heading off into the distance to go see what this island is all about. But keep in mind you are still attached by this rope. So you're going, you're swimming, and you're like, all right, I got this, and you get about halfway there. You realize that you're running out of rope. You realize that the person on this side is getting a little bit heavier to hold up, but you're so close. So you go a little bit further and you're right there. You see it, it's within grasp, and you're almost there. However, the rope is fully tight now. So there are 3 options for you. 1, you look back and you see your partner hanging out, floating. They have no intentions of moving. So you could, 1, go back, knowing that you're almost there and you could have it all, but you still want them in your life. So you go back. Now when you get back, you might be a little angry, hold a little bit of resentment, because you're like, I was right there and you didn't want to come with me and you didn't make it any easier, so I didn't make it. But you mask that, keep it inside, and you stay back there floating because it's comfortable. 2, you can stay exactly where you are. Chances are you're gonna get tired and trying to keep your head above water, and eventually sink. And you're gonna feel defeated. And that's when it opens up a whole new can of worms. Because once you feel defeated, that's when you start feeling depressed and you start feeling anxious and you're like, oh, what? And you start doubting yourself. Option 3, you cut the cord. Now you know if you cut this cord, you're going this way and your partner's over there. But your partner's perfectly content floating. They didn't want to come with you. You see everything over there. You have everything set up over there for you. You know what you're capable of and you can get it. So you cut that cord, you swim, you make it, and everything starts to open up for you. You realize that being worried that you're lonely doesn't matter. You realize that you can be successful. You realize that you are happy on the inside. You realize you have everything for you. You don't need that person weighing you down. So you're going to have to pick. Now, I'm not saying this is every relationship. Some people do match each other and some are willing to give and take, and that's great. I'm talking about the ones, and you know who you are, that aren't happy. Maybe you seem like it, but you aren't. And it's a cycle, because if you aren't happy, you aren't successful. And if you aren't successful, you aren't happy. Because at the end of the day, you have yourself, and you have friends, and you have family, and that's great. But at the end of the day, you are inside your head, and you feel what you feel. No one else does. And if you are not personally happy or personally at peace, you have to live with that feeling. So if you want to become personally happy and you want to feel that inner peace, then you have to live for you for a little bit. Forget everything and everyone else weighing you down. Because if you don't, you're going to get so tired of trying to keep your head above water that finally you're going to give up and you're going to feel defeated. But when you cut those cords and you swim and you make it, that is when you will feel inner peace. Everyone preaches and talks about how they want to feel that. Well, guess what? In order to get to that point in your life, you have to be uncomfortable. You have to step outside of what makes you happy and what you think makes you happy for a little bit. Because the only way to feel inner peace and self-happiness is if you do it on your own. You can't look towards anyone else for that feeling. You have to have it within you by yourself. And then once you have it on your own and you feel it for yourself, you will meet so many amazing people. You will meet the person you're supposed to be with. Because guess what? They can't stop your happiness and they can't create it. You create your own happiness and they are a part of it. And when that happens, that is when you are successful. That is when you feel love. That is when you feel peace. And that is when your life is complete. Now, I'm not saying to stop striving for more ever, because you always should. But you have to do it for you, and you have to do it independently. You have to cut those cords if you want to see personal growth. And you have to be willing to sacrifice. But I promise you, once you do, you're going to feel so much lighter. And you're going to feel happy. And you'll thank yourself in the long run. So, for this Monday Fun Day, I challenge you to step outside that box, to cut at least one negative cord that's weighing you down, and to focus on yourself.